Dear viewers, very warm welcome to this program. Today our topic of discussion is effective communication skills. Communication is single most effective tool in the hands of managers and leaders. If they have effective communication skills, certainly they can do wonders. If they know how to negotiate, if they know how to inspire, if they know how to manage conflicts, if they know how to provide feedback and to receive feedback, if they know how to present their ideas and results, then there is no power on earth who can stop them to reach at the top irrespective of their profession. Today we have invited a very professional personality who is teaching communication at University of South Asia. She is one and only Miss Shelva Shearing. Shelva has done her MPhil in English language teaching from Kennett College for Women. She is passionate about developing communication skills of youth. She believes that our youth and professionals should especially focus on building communication skills and not in nutshell, she is an ambassador of effective communication skill. So I would like to welcome Ms. Shelva. Shelva, welcome to this program.
Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
First of all, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Then we will move further.
Okay, I am Shelva Shireen, as you just told everyone. I have done MPhil in English language teaching from Kennett College for Women. I worked as English language coordinator. Then I was active member of Dramatic Society at DHA Education System. I used to train teachers. I worked as motivational speaker, and the main topic. Behind my, or you can say the topic for those all those speeches were how to motivate teachers, how they can enhance their motivation and how they can work properly. Then I worked as the head of Kangaroo Linguistic Contest. It's very famous worldwide. And then I worked as spelling bee, in charge of spelling bee contest. And now presently I'm working at University of South Asia as English language lecturer. So thank you for having me today, Kamar.
So thank you very much, Shelva, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for accepting my invite at this program. Without wasting much time, we will move further. And I would like to, first and foremost, I would like to ask, why do you think communication skill is the most important skill in 21st century? I would like to know your take on this one.
Okay, before answering this question, I would like to define what exactly communication is. We all know that we are communicating every single day, and we know the purpose as well, that why we are communicating. We are communicating so that we can share our ideas, we can express our emotions, our point of views, and we can express how we feel about things. But the most important thing one should know is communication is a two-way process, right? For instance, sending the message and then receiving the feedback. So it's a two-way process, and without communication, you cannot survive in the world. As human beings, they cannot survive alone, or they cannot survive without communication. So now let's talk about communication skills. We use communicate. There are several communication skills, and we use these communication skills so that we can understand emotions or feelings of others, and so that people would understand what we want from them, right? And communication with the help of these communication skills, what you can do, you can solve all the issues or problems related to personal life as well as professional life. So what as per my knowledge, or what I have observed, our youth, they take this thing casually. Normally they think that communication skills are not important. But if you cannot express yourself, if you cannot convey your message in a proper way, how do you think that the other person would understand, and you would not be able to get the desired result? So why we think that communication skills are important in 21st century? First of all, Kamar, I would like to say, or I would like to mention here, that communication was was totally different. If we'll talk about 18th century or 19th century, 21st century is, a century of smartphones and smart kids and smart youth. So the meaning of communication or communication skills, it has been totally changed. Now the whole universe, it has been changed into global community. And the main reason behind this thing is social media platforms. There are several social media platforms, and all these platforms are being used by people so that they can express their point of view, they can convey their point of view. So now meaning of communication and communication skills, they are totally completely different, right? If we talk about 18th century, people use verbal communication, non-verbal cues, and they used to write letters or emails. But now, if we talk about 21st century, the universe has been turned into global village, and people, they are communicating every day. Social platforms are there, and on those social platforms you can put up your statuses, stories, you can express yourself, you can convey a lot of information or messages. So now these skills are more important. They are playing a very vital role, and people, they should understand this fact that without these skills, they cannot enter in the workforce. Not even in workforce, you cannot survive without using these skills. You cannot live a proper life, whether it's your personal life or whether it's your professional life. So
True.
meaning of communication and communication skills, it's now changed. And there are several benefits why one should learn about these communication skills. First of all, it will open up a door for your so that you can enter in the workforce, right? Then you can you would be having, if you are good in communication skills, you would be having leadership qualities. Most of the time, people who are having this personality, those who can convey us, or who can convince us, we like them and we need to follow them. We think that we should follow them. They have this ability that they can impress others, or they can change the point of view of the other people. So for me, if you'll ask me, there are several benefits. There's only not only one benefit that you can enter in the workforce. You can leadership qualities, you can build positive and good relationship, you can learn how you can control your emotions, you can learn how you can compromise using negotiation, how you can how you can turn yourself into a good listener. So a lot of things are there, and with these communication skills, I'm sure you can live a successful life.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shelva. We will move further, and thank you very much for putting light and enlighten us about the communication skill and why it is important. Certainly, it is very important, and as I said earlier, that it is the single most important tool in the hands of managers and the leaders. And this single skill can make them successful, irrespective of their profession and irrespective of their technical knowledge. If they have
Right.
better communication skill, there is nothing can stop them. They are unstoppable.
But Kamar, there
Right.
is, unfortunately, our children, our youth, they think that it's not important. So here, we both are here so that we can change point of view of people, that they are very important, especially for workplace, for your professional life. You cannot survive if you are not having good communication skills.
Well, that's wonderful. The next question I would like to ask Shelva, can you please tell us the top communication skills which we must require in order to succeed in a corporate world, that we must need to have? There are some skills which we should have. It is nice to have, but I would like to know the skills which we must have for improving our communication skill overall.
Today I'll be sharing. There are several. Let me tell you, there are several communication skills. But here, as you said, we will be discussing only top 10 communication skills. Those are important for a workplace, or one should keep in mind those these 10 communication skills they can utilize at their workplace. So first of all, the first thing is non-verbal communication. People, we have this illusion in our mind that verbal communication is important, non-verbal communication is not important. Many studies, they suggested that 60% to 90% your message is based on non-verbal cues, and we think that non-verbal cues are not important at all. Today I'll talk about top 10 business communication skills. First one is non-verbal communication, then active listening, then your tone of voice and how you articulate different words or sentences, then your presentation skills, your negotiation skills, your storytelling, corporate storytelling skills at workplace, how you can use empathy at your workplace, how you can use, how you can give constructive feedback to the people, and how you can, lastly, how you can create clear and concise message. So these are the top 10 communication skills one should understand or one should learn about them. Okay, first of all, we'll talk about non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, as I told you, many studies, they suggested that the impact of non-verbal communication is far, far, far more than verbal communication. We as human beings, we won't realize this thing, that whatever we are saying, our words, they are not that important. The way we are saying, our body language, our gestures, our postures, our facial expressions. One of the most important thing in your whole body, one of the most important body part, that is the expressive one, that is your face. So your eye contact, as people say, as it's a famous saying, that eyes are the windows of the soul. So all these things one should keep in mind. For instance, I'll give you an example from real life. I'm saying to you, I'm very happy. Now, my expressions, my non-verbal cues, they are not telling you that I'm happy. They are giving some other sort of message to you. And as you are the receiver, you'll get confused. Okay, this lady is saying I'm happy, and she doesn't seem happy. Why she's not happy? So one should know this thing, that our verbal and non-verbal clues, they should match with each other, because if they don't match, the receiver, he'll get confused, and we don't want this, right? Then non as there's again a famous saying, action speaks louder than the words. When we talk about non-verbal cues, one should understand this thing, that whatever you are saying, it should, your verbal words and non-verbal clues. For instance, we both are sitting in a meeting, and you are very excited about the meeting, and I'm not, right? So I am sitting like this. Oh my god, when this meeting would finish? I'm not saying anything, right? We both are just listening whatever the other person is presenting, and you're so excited. You're sitting like this. Your posture is quite, what we can say, quite acceptable, all right? And I'm sitting like this, and I'm waiting. This thing clearly tells the other person that I'm not interested. And the way you are sitting, that means your posture, that shows that you are so excited, and you are listening, and you have ideas. Those ideas, you are ready to share those ideas. So non-verbal clues, we ignore it. Nobody has taught us about these non-verbal cues, and we never pay attention to these non-verbal clues. But as I gave you example, that I'm so happy. Now this makes you confused, that okay, this lady is happy or she's unhappy. So we should keep this thing in mind. Whatever we are saying, our body language, our gestures, our postures, the way we are standing, the way we are sitting, the way we are maintaining eye contact, every single thing is very important. So we need to keep these things in our mind. Moving on to the next skill, that is active listening. There are those who are joining me right now. Let me tell you one thing. There are 4 major skills. These skills we are teaching to our students: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Unfortunately, in our schools, since childhood, at least in my childhood, people that my teachers, they taught me how to read, how to write, and how to speak. But there is no formal training how to be a good listener. And people, they think they get confused in hearing and listening. Let me tell you one thing, people, that hearing is completely different than listening. Hearing is something when something unintentionally is going on. Like, for instance, I'm presenting something, and there is a noise from the construction side. That is hearing, right? Unintentionally or accidentally, something is going in your ears, and you are not attentively listening. On the other hand, when you're listening is when you're paying attention. Now, there are several myths about listening, that people think that, first of all, it's a lost art. We don't pay attention. We think that listening is not important, but listening is as important as speaking. If we'll talk about a toddler doesn't know how to speak. First, what first skill he has been introduced, that is listening. He would be listening to the parents, right? They are talking to each other. Then he'll learn one word, that is water, and then start, after listening, he'll start uttering those words. Am I right? Right.
Yes, of course,
So
it is.
so he, after listening, he'll start speaking. But unfortunately, at our school level, we have been taught all three skills, but listening, nobody taught us. Yeah, and informally, our parents, they taught us in the when we were young, stay quiet, listen to others, right? Like this way, but not formally. We didn't take classes for practicing our listening skills, how we can become active listener. Now, there are several myths about listening I would like to share here. First myth is, I know everything. We don't know everything. We are human beings. We would be having knowledge about one thing, about the second thing, or the third thing, but we cannot have knowledge about the whole universe, right? So one should know that listening is a good thing, and we cannot, it's a myth about listening. Oh, I shouldn't listen, I know everything. We don't know everything. Second myth about listening is that if I will not listen, I can still I can still, find out all the proper facts and figures, all the information. That is again wrong. If you will not listen properly, there must be something. Our mind, our brains, they have, we have this brain that if there is a distraction, we'll get distracted. Human beings are like that. You can't say that if I'm distracted, I can give my 100%. You can't give your 100%. Third myth about listening is, this topic is not as per my interest, I'm not gonna listen, right? So we only, or fourth myth is that I'll be listening whatever is as per my mood, or whatever is as per my taste. Rest is not important. For instance, we both are having conversation, Kamar, and you are talking about spare parts of a new car that has been introduced, and I have zero knowledge about cars, for instance. So you're just talking, and I'm showing you empathy. Oh my God, wow, very nice. But I don't know. When you'll ask me in the end, I won't be knowing even a single word what you were saying. The process of hearing would be going on, that I know the topic, that you are talking about some car and its spare parts, right? But I don't know what exactly you are telling me, right? So there is a difference between hearing and listening. Stop thinking that you are listening when you are hearing. Be active listener. At the workplace, if you won't listen, you won't be able to understand. For instance, we are having meeting, and I have this idea. Somebody, my PN, told me that, ma'am, in today's meeting they'll be discussing these points. So I must be thinking, okay, I shouldn't listen. It's boring. I already knew. Maybe they won't talk about those points. Maybe they'll talk about something different. So at workplace, you need to listen properly. If you cannot listen, if you are having these myths, first of all, we for overcoming all these myths, what you need to do not evaluate the other person. At workplace, what we do, we evaluate how the other person is speaking. Oh my God, uh, uh, what style she's having, she's so lame. While evaluating the other person, you won't pay attention whatever the other person is saying. Then ask for keep on paraphrasing whatever you are listening, and where you need clarification, ask for for that particular clarification, right? Do not interrupt other person, because in our Pakistani scenario, or if we'll talk about workplace, we do not listen so that we can understand. We listen so that we can answer others, we can prove them wrong. Oh my god, I was listening. Okay, we are preparing counter argument in our mind. Okay, here I'm gonna catch you, man, you are wrong here. So we are not listening. So we need to quit all these things, stop evaluating other person, just listen whatever the person is saying. If you want success in your career, then paraphrasing it. If you have some sort of ambiguity, or something you think that something is vague, ask for it. You need clarity, right? And practice non-verbal cues. For instance, you are speaking, and if I'll note like this, it will appreciate you, it will motivate you in some way, and you'll speak more. Tell your speaker that I'm here to listen. Sometimes you are not interested in listening. Maybe your coworker is frustrated, maybe your coworker is so enthusiastic because he got a new project, and he's interested in working on that particular project. But you need to develop this habit. If you develop this habit, if you won't listen, people won't listen to you. I used to tell my students, but they get bored easily when it comes to classroom presentations, and they used to yawning is going on, and they used to look here and there, and they show that we are not interested. I used to tell them how you will feel when you are speaking, you are standing in front of the audience, and people are not interested. So this thing is very important. If you won't listen, the other person won't be able to convey his or her message, because you are not listening. Goes without saying, you won't be having desired result, whatever result you need. Now, moving on to the third communication skill, that is conciseness and clarity. There are several benefits of conciseness and clarity. First of all, people, they think that if we will send a long essay or long message, it would have a better impact. But if we'll talk about workplace, nobody is having that much time that the person would read. He's just sitting, leaving his work, and he's just reading the long essay you have written for praising that particular person. Do not do this. If you want that, if you want to shine bright like a diamond at the workplace, keep your message concise, clear, brief. Just add relevant information. Do not use irrelevant information just to please someone. Do not use repetition again and again. This thing, because we have this art that we can write one sentence in 1,000 different ways, and the whole sentence would be, all these 1,000 sentences, they have only one meaning. So instead of dragging the things, keep the things at workplace, keep your message brief, short, and clear. The more brief message you'll be using, the more clarity it would be having. Briefness or conciseness doesn't mean you shouldn't add all the necessary information. Add the necessary information and eliminate the unnecessary one, right? And then it has everything, every skill is having different sort of advantages. It has several advantages. First of all, it saves your time, your energy. You would be able to eliminate all the irrelevant information, and you would be able to deliver only the relevant information, right? Secondly, it will save your time and clarity. uh, if the message is concise, the person, the receiver, he would be interested in reading your message. You have written the message, but sometimes people, they don't manage time to read your long essays, and a lot of repetition is there, and it would be having a very negative impact on people, right? So concise and clear messages, they are very important. For if we'll keep workplace in our mind, they are very important. You cannot tell stories to the people don't have time for your stories. I mean, they have better fish to fry, right? So next is, after after clarity, and after Conciseness. The third, the next thing is your tone of voice, the way you are saying. You know, communication is not just we think that whatever we are saying, that's the part of communication. Communication is more than this thing. Whatever you are saying, it is having an impact, but whatever you are not saying, it is having a more impact. And your tone of voice, how you will say something, that matters a lot. For instance, I'll give you an example from real life. There is one word, yes. Now I'll say this one word, yes, in several different tones, and you would be amazed that how tone can change the meaning of your message, right? So, for instance, Kamar, he asked me, "Did you enjoy the movie?" Now I need to say yes. Now I would be saying yes in two or three different ways. Kamar would say, "Did you enjoy the movie?" I would say yes, right? Did you enjoy the movie? Yes. Did you enjoy the movie? Yes. Now, yes, that means, okay, in the beginning it was good, but there is a but, right? Did you enjoy the movie? Yes. And the right tone is, did you enjoy the movie? Yes. So there's only one word, that is yes. And I have said that word in several different ways. I was excited, I was sad, there was a little element of excitement, and then there was the element of but. Same goes for uh, there's another sentence, I'll share with you. We are again having pasta and dinner tonight, right? So there are three different ways. Uh, oh, we are again having pasta and dinner tonight. Oh, we are having pasta and dinner tonight, right? So every single time the tone is different, so the meaning is different. As I said in the beginning, I'm very happy. I'm happy. I'm excited. Your tone, your pitch, your the way you articulate the words, uh, it matters a lot. So people most of the time, let me tell you one thing. I'm a very sarcastic person. Unfortunately, I am a very sarcastic person, and when you are a teacher, sarcasm, it comes naturally. So whatever my tone, sometimes it's really difficult for me to maintain the proper tone while communicating, especially at workplace, because most of my colleagues, they think that if I am saying something, I am basically ordering them. Basically, I used to request them, but my tone, it's little authoritative, and it's little loud. So while communicating, I need to pay attention on this thing, that my tone should be moderated. I need to use correct tone, proper tone, because if I'll say seriously, seriously, so both words are same, but the way, the tone I'm using, that is different. How you can work on your tone? Just keep this thing in your mind, that put yourself on this that place, and decide that whether the other person, he won't think that you are so loud, whether the other person is liking it. uh, the receiver would tell you with his non-verbal cues that he is liking it, whatever you are saying, or he is your tone is disturbing him. So at workplace, you cannot use authoritative tone all the time. At workplace, you cannot, you cannot be sad all the time. So you need to choose correct tone when you are, when, if we'll talk about a professional scenario. After that, empathy. Empathy is interlinked with listening. How it is interlinked with listening? Because empathy means to understand or to listen the other person when the other person disagree with you. At workplace, you will meet several people. Every human being is different than the, and that's the beauty of human nature. We all are different. So you can't say that if I agree to this thing, the other person should agree to this thing. No. One should know that if a person is disagreeing with you, he doesn't support your ideas, so one should welcome his ideas. One should understand this fact that we all are dissimilar, we all are different, and that's why we all are beautiful. So Empathy means listening to the other person when he disagree with you, right? Listening to the person's point of view. It's not necessary that the other person would always agree with you, and it's not humanly possible. We shouldn't think that it's humanly possible, and if somebody is doing that, I would call it buttering. But it's not possible. We are having different ideas, and when we are working at workplace, uh, different people are coming from different backgrounds, because of different cultural variations. They are having different point of views about different things, so you cannot say that I am right and you are wrong. So without evaluating the other person, listening to somebody, empathy is very important at the workplace. Maybe some people, they would show empathy towards you when you are speaking. Maybe, most of the time it happens that you disagree with the person and you start arguing with that person. But rather arguing, you can just take whatever the person is saying, and you can show empathy. And at workplace, you need to do that, because hundred and thousands of people are working together. They are having different perspectives, they are having different point of views, they are having different experiences. And when people talk, they talk about on behalf of their experiences. After empathy, feedback. Okay, in the process of communication, one of the most important thing is feedback. Why? Feedback is, as I said in the beginning, communication is a two-way process. When we talk about two-way process, I'm sending the message and the receiver is receiving the message, and then he's sending me the feedback. And constructive feedback, effective feedback, it helps the person in several ways. You can motivate a person, you can give a suggestion with the help of feedback, you can give some sort of information. So, constructive or effective feedback, what is effective feedback in a business scenario or at the workplace? Effective feedback at the workplace means that you would choose right words. Whatever you are writing, whatever feedback you are giving, you need to select right words. And you know what the problem is? People, they think that if they got the authority, so they have the right that they can say whatever they want to say. But constructive feedback is something, it would be mixture of suggestion. It would be, if we are talking about workplace, right, it would be mixture of suggestion, some so and one should suggest a thing or a way in such way that the other person would understand or take it positively rather negatively. Effective feedback means, or constructive feedback means, that you need to give feedback that would be clear feedback that would helpful the speaker or the person who is interacting with you in one way or another way, right? So constructive feedback is again very important communication skill. And people, we used to ignore it, but without feedback, process of communication is incomplete. We cannot call it two-way process. It's a two-way process, and I personally used to call feedback a backbone of the communication process. Without this, you cannot understand whether your message has been reached there successfully, or it didn't the person couldn't understand whatever you are saying. So feedback is a point where you would understand that your message has been delivered effectively, and the person, he got whatever, or he just got your point, whatever you are saying. Now, after feedback, emotional intelligence, one of the most ignorant thing in Pakistan. We are not teaching our Unfortunately, we are not teaching this. We can't teach this, basically. You can't teach this skill. This skill can be obtained with the passage of time, but we are not giving tips to our students or our youth that how they can become emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence means managing your emotions, your controlling your emotions. And I have seen grown up people at the workplace that they are unable to control their emotions. they think everything is about them. They take everything personally. If you want to be if you want that people would say that this person is emotionally intelligent, you should learn this thing, that do not take things personally, especially at workplace. If you want to survive, you can't take things personally. Am I right, Kamar?
Of course, this is very important. We need to separate ourselves from the, the communication from the subject.
And as I said in the beginning earlier, that we all are dissimilar. That's the beauty of human nature. We all can't agree on one point. As people say, variety is the spice of life. Yes, it does. That's why God made all of us in a different way. We all are having different point of view perceptions. So emotionally intelligent people, they would easily handle, they can easily manage their stress. And there are four strains of emotional intelligence. First is self-awareness, knowing your own self. Relationship management, then self-management, ठीक and what else? Social awareness, knowing about your society. And if you are having all these four in you, you would be able to communicate in a proper way, and you would be able to handle all the tricky situations in a nicer way. Because emotionally intelligent people like them, because they know that, okay, if we'll put them up in any sort of situation, if they are in a crucial situation, they will find out a way, and they'll control their emotion, and they'll get out of that particular situation. So if you want to survive at the workplace, it's one of the most important skill, 21st century skill, you should learn. You should and tip for improving your emotional intelligence is, look at the people who are having emotional intelligence, who are pro in it, and try to obtain their habits and practice their habits in your daily life. And one day you'll see that you can easily manage with the stress, easily control your emotions. You would be knowing how you should socially behave. Now, after emotional intelligence, another thing, that is negotiation skills. We negotiate every single day, whether it's professional life, whether it's personal life. Without this, we cannot run our business. We cannot survive at the workplace. If we go out for if I'll go out for in search of job, and the person would give me package of 60K or 70K, and I would be we will be having negotiation. So one should know how you can convince. Basically, negotiation doesn't mean you can convince the other person. It means that you and the other person, you both would compromise in some way or in some other way, right? And you would come up with a solution. So how you can improve your communication skill, your negotiation skills? First of all, the first point is analyze the problem. What is the problem? After analyzing the problem, write down all the points or steps, how you can how both the parties would have or would agree on some point. And those points, write down those points, and then you will see that both the parties will compromise in one way or in another way. You cannot be rigid at workplace that, okay, I'm saying this, so it should happen in this way. No, you need to negotiate. You need to understand this fact that communication skills, one of the most important thing in communication skills is the way you negotiate with other person. Whether you are flexible, whether you are ready to take the point of view of the other person. If you are rigid, nobody would like to work with you. You will find yourself isolated at the workplace. So if you want to grow professionally, you need to build these negotiation skills. And if you will build them, people would love to work with you. They would say, okay, I want to work with this person because he is ready to listen. He is considering all the things what I am saying. And to some extent, I am compromising my point of view. He is compromising his point of view. And we both are standing on the same page. We are on the same page. That's more important. After emotional intelligence, there is another thing, that is presentation skills. Um, I have seen people who, with great content, amazing ideas, but they are having poor presentation skills. They cannot convince people how they can, convey their message in a proper way. And some people, their content is vague. It's not up to the mark, or it's not as per the requirement of the company. But the way they start, you would be amazed the way they convince. So presentation skills, you cannot learn presentation skills in one day. Again, it's a skill, it's form of a art. So what you can do, a few tips I'm going to share. Structure your presentation, write the layout, right? Make a layout that in the beginning, as for presentation, it's the most important thing is the layout, right? The structure of the whole presentation. You cannot give conclusion in the beginning. There should be a proper hierarchy, right? Introduction, then explanation. And if you are denying something, you should have counter argument why. You should have reason that why I didn't appreciate this thing, why I'm appreciating the other thing, right? After making a structure outline, you need to keep this thing that what sort of occasion it is, whether it's a professional setting, whether it's a semi professional or informal setting, what sort of occasion is there. If it's little formal and informal, so sorry, informal, so you can't you can, if it's informal, what you can do, you can start with a lighter note, right? But it's if it's highly formal, so you need to start in such way that the first sentence would come up from your mouth, and the audience, you'll grab their attention. Everybody would like, okay, he's having something that I need to listen. So first of all, structure, proper layout, and then you need to keep this thing in your mind, what sort of occasion it is. Then time management, then your tone, how you'll express your ideas, how you'll say whatever you want to say. And after that, in the end, you need to bring something in your presentation that will help listeners, that they can stay motivated, they can you can save them from all the barriers that are coming in the ways. So presentation skills, again, if you are not having proper presentation skills, whether it's a formal setting, informal setting, workplace, you cannot convey your ideas. When you cannot convey your ideas, when you cannot share the information in a proper way, your ideas would, they would stay in your mind. And people somebody else would use your idea or explain your idea in a proper way, and you will lose the opportunity. So communication skills, one of the most important part in communication skill is presentation skills. Corporate storytelling, I have a lot to say about this. But since childhood, we have been taught different things in a form of stories, right? And as I was right now, we were talking about tone. So I told you stories. I told you that I shared my personal experience. So if you know how you can use corporate storytelling, if you have something, if you can share your idea, your the way you how I have improved my communication skills by telling a story, it would help you at the workplace. For instance, I am sharing a project with you, and I'm telling I'm relating this project with some other project we did in the past, and I'm telling that thing in a form of story. People, we just love stories. Every single human being will love stories. We, since childhood, we love stories. If I'll tell you an information in a simple way, you wouldn't be that much interested. But if I'll tell you my experience in a form of story, you would be very much interested. So one should know how you can grab attention, how you can, your opening sentence should have such impact, whether it's presentation skills, whether you are whether it's whether we are talking about negotiation. You should have that ability in you that you will grab the attention of the other person, and you can do it this thing with the help of a corporate storytelling. and there are several tips but you can use, but we know since childhood how we can tell stories. So these are the top 10 most important communication skills one should consider. And after teaching, I guess 6 7 years, I have 6 7 years experience, but I still believe that I need more and more improvement. It's just like personality development. You need more improvement every day. You learn more and more. So these are the 10 top 10 business communication skills, and one should consider them.
Thank
Anything
you very
else?
much, Shelva.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much, Shelva. You wrapped it up and you have done a great job. You nailed the communication today. And
Thank
mashallah, your grip, your knowledge, and your expertise are awesome. It's
thank you.
imaginable and uncomparable. Mashallah. Very excellent skills you
Thank
have.
you so much.
And
My pleasure.
I really enjoyed learning from you. I really enjoyed this show. Although we planned for a very short time, like half an hour, but it's 40 minutes plus. Still, I believe people were also enjoying, and I was also enjoying. It was just a feast to listen you. That's how
Thank
beautifully
you.
you narrated everything, explained
I'm
everything,
so
and
glad.
well in detail. Well
Yes,
in
I'm so
detail.
glad you considered me.
Thank you. I have some other questions, but we will not go for these questions now. Now we will wrap up over here because already we have crossed the time. Just with this note that all these skills which are mentioned by the Shelva today, we are practicing all these skills. We have a great platform to practice all these skills. This is called Toastmasters International, and we have different clubs in Pakistan as well as in UAE. We have CMA Toastmasters Club UAE. In Pakistan, we have ICMA Toastmaster Club in Islamabad, in Lahore, Karachi, everywhere. So, if you are interested to practice all these communication skills, you can go and join these Toastmasters Club, and hopefully, this will help you to learn and to practice. And then you can, if once you learn and once you adopt all these skills, then you can practice the same in your corporate life. And
Yes,
Shalva is always there. If you need any advice, you need
you're
anything,
most welcome.
Shalva is approachable, and we can contact her, and we can even arrange next time a full-fledged workshop on communication and building
I would
our
be
and
so
developing
happy
our.
if, yes, Kamar, I guess we should discuss them one by one, because I got a lot of material and I couldn't, as we couldn't manage time, unfortunately. But if we'll do, things, or if we'll discuss skills one by one, I guess that would be really helpful for people, because you cannot cover all these 10 skills in one go, right? So,
No,
but
no
next
problem.
time we'll see what we can do.
We will have a proper workshop over it, and then we
Yeah,
will
sure.
discuss each skill. And this was just a tip of the iceberg, but this
Yes.
even in this particular time, you did the marvelous job. I'm really happy, and I'm really
Thank
impressed
you.
by the way how you expressed. So thank you very much for
You're welcome.
being over here. If you want to share any advice or you want to share any message within 1 minute, you can please with the audience.
Yes, there is one thing I would like to share with you all, that please do not think that you can develop your communication skills in one day, in 1 month, or in 1 year. And nobody can teach you these skills. These skills, you need to obtain these skills, and for that, it needs few things: continuous practice and consistency. If you are not consistent in everything, in anything, for instance, if it's a relationship, if you are learning a language, if you are working hard to get a new job or a proper position or promotion, you need to be consistent. And if you are not consistent, you cannot obtain whatever you want. So you cannot learn these skills, you cannot you can obtain these skills. And for that, my suggestion is, my advice is, look at the people around you, those who are having good communication skills, right? And adopt their style, their ideas, start practicing the way they express themselves. And one day you will find, after I, you know what, I took ages, and still I guess I need improvement. It's communication skills are just like personality development. You cannot develop your personality in one day or in 1 year. When the day I'll die, my personality would be totally different. Same goes for communication skills. If I'll compare myself with a girl who was 16, and if I'll compare myself now with a girl who was 16, there's huge difference. So keep on practicing, look around, you'll see amazing people having amazing communication skills. Try to adopt their way, or try to utilize all the tips people are giving you have been observing in your life, and keep on practicing them with consistency, and you'll see the difference. And one day you will say that I'm a good communicator, I got good communication skills, I can easily express or convey my ideas. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, dear all viewers, for being over here, and thank you, Shelva, for joining us. That's
Thank
all
you.
from today, and we'll come up for the next show. Inshallah, we'll keep you posted. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
calling me, for considering